Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled, Why Game and Rizz Are a Lie. I've never been comfortable with the concept of Rizz or game. The idea that you can talk someone into wanting you, like attraction, is some puzzle you can solve with the right pickup line or body language trick, is not just misguided, it's fundamentally dishonest. Attraction doesn't work that way. It's not something you engineer. It's something that either exists or it doesn't. You can't manufacture it with words or calculated gestures. Let's be real. If a woman isn't attracted to how I look, there's nothing I can say that's going to make her feel that spark. No clever phrasing, no alpha male energy, no confident stance is going to suddenly change her instincts. That's not a failure. That's biology. That's just how we're wired. Attraction is raw, primal, and largely unconscious. You either feel it or you don't. Yet for some reason, people keep selling the fantasy that attraction is controllable. That if you memorize the right phrases, angle your body correctly, or subtly mirror someone's movements, you can trigger interest. The truth is, this approach is fundamentally flawed because it treats attraction like a formula, an equation where confidence plus charm equals desire. But human connection doesn't work like that. Can attraction evolve? Sure. It's not completely rigid. Sometimes the more you talk to someone, the more you start to notice things you didn't at first. Maybe their personality adds depth. Maybe your initial impression was off. Maybe you connect in a way that reshapes how you see them. That happens. But even then, that shift is organic. It's not forced through manipulation or game playing. It grows out of real human interaction, not strategy. That's what bothers me about game culture. It teaches people to perform, to study tricks, mimic confidence, and present a version of themselves that isn't actually real. It's essentially a social costume. People take advice from influencers or dating coaches who don't know them, don't understand their situation, and give out cookie-cutter strategies that ignore the most important variable, the human being you're trying to connect with. They don't know where you are when this supposed game is happening. They don't know if it's at a loud bar, a quiet bookstore, a random coffee shop, or some awkward party. They don't know what time of day it is, how she's feeling, what kind of day you've both had, or if either of you even want to be talking right now. There are a million unseen factors in every interaction. You can't package that into a script. So when people tell you, say this, do that, stand this way, look her in the eyes for exactly 2.5 seconds, they're not giving you confidence. They're selling you a performance. And performances have a time limit. Eventually, the curtain falls, and the real version of you steps out. That's when the truth shows up, whether you're ready for it or not. The real problem is, this whole performance-based mindset pushes you further from authenticity. It tells you to play a role that isn't actually yours, in hopes of manipulating someone into liking you. That's not self-respect. That's insecurity dressed up as strategy. It teaches people to chase approval instead of connection, to focus on being chosen instead of choosing. And here's the truth. People, especially women, can usually tell when you're not being yourself. Most of the time, they see it for what it is, a show. They may smile politely or engage for a bit, but they're not feeling it, because what you're offering isn't real. And if they do fall for the performance, what then? Now you have to keep it going. You've got to remember the version of yourself that you pretended to be and keep pretending. That's not connection. That's acting. Being yourself isn't just some feel-good advice. It's the only sustainable option. It's the only path that doesn't crash and burn later. Yes, sometimes it feels like being yourself doesn't work. Maybe you don't get as many matches. Maybe people pass you up. Maybe someone you're interested in doesn't feel the same way. That can sting, but at least it's honest. And in the long run, honesty is what keeps things solid. A lot of people get caught up in comparison. They look at guys who are more traditionally attractive or more socially smooth and start feeling like they're behind. They assume those people have something they don't. And maybe they do. Genetics, experience, a louder voice, whatever. But trying to copy them won't close that gap. It only makes you lose touch with your own value. You can't copy your way to confidence. Real confidence comes from knowing who you are, owning your strengths, and working on your weak spots. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you want to grow. You want to be proud of who you are. That kind of self-respect does more for attraction than any line you could ever say. And look, when I say be yourself, I don't mean be lazy or rude or give up on self-improvement. I'm not saying you should just sit around in your underwear eating junk food and expect people to love you for it. That's not authenticity. That's avoidance. Being yourself means being real, but also being better. The best version of you. The version that gives a damn about your life, your health, your relationships, and your direction. That version of you, when it's clear, confident, and grounded, is more attractive than any script ever will be. Because it's honest. And when someone's into that version of you, it means something. It's not built on lies or hype or some half-true persona. It's solid. It has depth. And if someone doesn't want to be around you after you've put in that work and shown up authentically, that's okay. Let them go. Not everyone will be into you. That's just part of life. You don't need everyone. You need someone who values what you actually bring to the table. This is also why I don't buy into the DM hustle culture, where guys flood women's inboxes trying to be slick, funny, bold, whatever. Most of the time, it's not real connection. It's digital noise. If the only version of yourself someone ever sees is a curated persona filtered through likes and clever replies, how real is that interaction? The problem with pretending, whether online or in person, is that you end up attracting people who don't really know you. And when you get tired of pretending, or they figure out that who you are offline isn't who they expected, the whole thing falls apart. And guess what? That collapse hurts more than the initial rejection ever would have. You don't want to build something that fragile. You want the kind of attraction that grows from actual connection, mutual respect, and shared values. And that only happens when you lead with honesty, not performance. So yeah, the whole Rizz game thing, it's a distraction. You don't need a better pickup line. You need a better relationship with yourself. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye for now.